What's going on, guys? Chuck here with another awesome Blu-ray purchase. Today I'm taking a look at a new release from Scream Factory, and that is the 4K uncut version of My Bloody Valentine. Of course, this is their title that Scream Factory released many years ago on Blu-ray and one of their collector's editions. And as is the case with a lot of their catalog titles here recently, they're re-releasing them in 4K, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if those titles have gone out of print and you're trying to get a copy, and now they're putting them out there in Blu-ray 4K combos, such as My Bloody Valentine. My Bloody Valentine, I think, is one of the more popular of the, what I like to call the second tier slasher films in the 80s. And I always say, that's not a knock on or anything, but you look at the top tier, it'd be something like, the Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Halloween. It's kind of those franchises, the big ones you know about. And then you have your lower tiers, which are popularly good, but, didn't quite make too much mainstream. To me, it's something like, maybe an Early Sleepaway Camp, the first one at least, Silent Night, Deadly Night, My Bloody Valentine. And, again, that whole thing is subjective. Just my thoughts. But this is, definitely one of the better slashers of the 80s. And one I really enjoy. My history with this goes back to, excuse me, being a kid. I think I've mentioned this before, way back early on, when you looking at my video, I was unboxing the Scream Factory Friday the 13th set, way back, probably like my second video ever. And I mentioned how I'd known of Friday the 13th was from a Fangoria magazine I somehow came across and seeing images that really stuck in my mind. Well, same can be said for My Bloody Valentine. And I remember as a kid, I'd heard about it. I had seen the images from it in a magazine. I'm assuming it was Fangoria or some horror magazine at the time. And it stuck in my mind. I had no idea really what the story was. I assumed there was this killer, and he was, from what I was told, he was ripping out hearts and putting them in candy boxes. Which I guess is true. It did happen once, but to my mind, that's how he killed everybody. That was his calling card for everything. And that's all I knew. And I never got to see the movie until, honestly, sometime late in my mid to 20s. I don't know why I never got around to seeing or getting a copy until I finally would manage to get a DVD. I believe it was on Anchor Bay, which had the uncut scenes. I don't think they were spliced. They might have been spliced in the film, but lower res. I can't remember how the deal was. And I got to sit down and watch the film. And actually, I think I could probably pinpoint that to being 2018. I know it's terrible, isn't it? And that's because I remember that. I'm gonna put this down because it was when we had just bought our previous home, which we just had built. And we had just moved in, and I remember at the time we had big open windows, and we didn't have curtains up on them yet. And Chris wasn't born yet, so it was just me and my wife, who at that point, we were probably only a month in our marriage because we got married just about a month after buying the house. And but this is also empty land, with no homes being built. So just pretty much us and all this empty field, and these wide open windows. And I decided, and she was working nights at the time, so she was gone. I'm home alone. I'm going to sit down and watch My Bloody Valentine because, damn it, why not? I also think that might have been around the time or close to it when the remake was coming out, so I wanted to familiarize myself with it. And again, it's so weird because I really was fascinated with this movie. I want to see it. I don't know why it took me so long to finally sit down and actually get to watch it. Time is a funny thing, so I gotta say. But anyway, so I'm watching it and I remember just enjoying it so much, but I'm also kind of creeped out. Not necessarily the movie, but because it's dark, it's night, I had these wide open windows, I had no curtains up, big empty feel at night. Who knows could walk by there. It's kind of creepy atmosphere. I'd set up for myself. But so I can't remember. That's probably the first time I actually sit down and really paid attention and watched My Bloody Valentine for the first time. And of course, later on, when Scream Factory announced they were putting it on Blu-ray, I picked it up immediately. I have that here, right here. This was a great set, great Blu-ray. There's a lot of good extras on here. And actually, I don't remember if I got this from Amazon or directly from Scream Factory. I don't remember if I have any posters, and I don't remember. All that stuff's packed away, but I do have the disc. But yeah, I've always really enjoyed it. I thought it's a nice little slasher film. Um, Kind of, you say disappointed that it didn't get a franchise, but at the same time, I don't think it really needs one. I think it's a nice, good standalone film, a standalone film on its own, really. Standalone on its own. Fast forward to sometime, a few months back, Stream Factory announcing they're releasing this 4K title. As like I said, that's been kind of their thing lately, re-releasing their catalog titles in 4Ks. And this was one, much like the Night of the Demons said, this was one I had to have. Now, I didn't go the Scream Factory route of buying the bundle for this. I went and just got through Amazon, so all I got was the film. I didn't get the I think it was the poster, cards, whatever else that came with it. I don't remember the cards. All that, the accoutrement, as I like to say. I didn't go spring for all that for this. It's strictly the movie itself. As far as what's on here, this essentially, from what I can tell, is the same release as this, other than this is the uncut version in 4K. And it's a 3-disc set, so you do have the uncut version in 4K, which is amazing. You have the uncut version on Blu-ray, and then you have the theatrical version on Blu-ray. Now, while I know the uncut version is, the preferred, it's the better, the more gore-filled, I'm kind of surprised they didn't release a theatrical 4K version on here as well to go with that. So just strictly the uncut version. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that. And it's funny because typically it's only theatrical versions that get 4Ks, and these other versions sometimes don't get the 4K treatment. So kudos to them for that. But anyways, as far as the special features, as far as I can tell from the back of here, nothing is listed as new. It appears to be everything that's on the original Blu-ray release, as far as I can tell, which is a good, nice packed release. A lot of good features. Now, I try to do a compare because I don't remember, but the back of the old Blu-ray doesn't really tell you anything. It just lets you know there's a few audio commentaries, or no, it's basically telling you there's a 4K scan of the original camera negative, and so you have a 4K scan of the theatrical version and a 4K scan of the uncut. So again, why did they not make a 4K of the theatrical version? Whatever. But they don't list special features on here. But there are plenty on here. There's hidden. But on the back here, they do list all these special features. And from what I can tell by going through them all, these are the same features that are listed on the original release. So let's take a quick look at this. Here's the original organ. This is a great image and poster art. I do like this a lot. I almost wish I could. Maybe I should get a poster of this. If I can find a place to put it, maybe I have to get myself this poster. I do like this. So, flip this up, and you've got the same artwork. So much like the other 4Ks, they don't have reverse artwork. This is the same as the slip. I don't remember if the bundle came with an extra slip cover like the Night of the Demons one did. I don't think it did. But that's okay. This is actually a good image. I mean, this isn't bad for this alternate artwork, but I still, this one's still pretty iconic in my mind. And what did this had the same image on it, I believe. Yeah, so there you go. So it's your 4K slip again. Back's the same. And in here you've got, again, your 4K of the uncut version. And then you've got the Blu-ray of the uncut version. And then the Blu-ray of the theatrical version. And again, no theatrical 4K. And I'm assuming all your, it tells right here, all your features are spread across the discs. Across the two discs. The two Blu-rays. The 4K just strictly has, I think, a commentary. Yeah, an audio commentary with the director. That's on the 4K. But everything else is spread across the two discs. Again, which this original set was a 2-disc set, and it was the uncut and theatrical versions, and those special features are spread across those. So again, I'm almost guaranteeing that these are the same features on here. But again, that's not a bad thing, because there are some really good features on there. It would be nice if maybe they get something a little new, but they're probably exhausted. I don't know how much more they really have, or they could get, um, from what cast and crew they could get a hold of. So, nevertheless, they poured all those over here, so you got all those features, a 4K of the uncut version, and this is a nice looking set. I do love this artwork, this original artwork. This is really cool. So I'm glad I got, because I do love My Bloody Valentine, one of my favorite slashers that doesn't involve a hockey mask killer. So if you enjoyed it, My Bloody Valentine, definitely pick this one up. Even if you're not 4K capable, if you wanted to get the Scream Factory Blu-ray, and I don't think it ever went out of print, honestly, so I don't know. You probably could just buy that by itself. But you could also buy this and get that Blu-ray of both versions. And then, you could always, if you ever get 4K capable, you've got it ready to go. So that's a plus. Definitely check it out. Great. If you've never seen My Bloody Valentine, the original, check it out. I think it's one of the better slides. It's really early on. It's like, 1980, 81. So it's right at the beginning, the slasher peak. It's kind of like the slashers are hitting their apex around 81, 82 before they start dwindling down. So this is, again, a good high-end second-tier slasher, if you will. And on that note, let's talk a little bit about, while we're here, the remake, My Bloody Valentine, with Jensen Ackles. I don't think this movie gets appreciated enough, or gets enough love. I saw this in the theater. I saw it in 3D. This is the actual Blu-ray 3D. This is a fun movie. Is it better than the original? I don't know. Again, it's subjective. It's definitely a product of its time, as opposed to early 80s. But I think there's a nice little story here. There's some good characters in here. The kills are great. It's a fun movie. The 3D, even if you don't have the 3D, it's still a fun movie. But if you've got the 3D, and I recently, not recently, but not too long ago, rewatched it in 3D, and it was even more fun. Again, it's one of those cases where it wasn't necessarily a post-conversion 3D. It was actually, I believe, filmed for 3D. So to me, that always comes across much better than a film that's just made and we decided to turn it into a 3D film, as opposed to a film that's being intended for 3D when you shot it. So this is, again, a lot of fun. Jensen Ackles is great in it. And of course, he's the time when he was right in the middle of doing the Supernatural series, which is interesting because his co-star from Supernatural, Jared Padalecki, of course, right around the same time, was starring in the Friday the 13th remake. So that's kind of cool. But yet we need to get that Supernatural movie. We never got that Supernatural movie with the two of them. So if you've never seen the remake of My Bloody Valentine, check it out. Don't watch it in 3D. If you can get it in 3D, that's a plus. And if you have seen it and weren't too crazy, but I recommend checking it out again and giving it a second chance. Because again, this is a lot of fun. I really enjoy this movie a lot. So, and that is it for now. If you enjoy this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you picked up the 4K version of My Bloody Valentine. Did you get the bundle? You just spring for this itself. Do you still have your original Scream Factory release of My Bloody Valentine? Or, hey, do you have the 3D? Or you just got all kinds of Bloody Valentines like me. Or just say hi. I'll always take hi. So until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.